Hey, what's up, DIYers? Mike Boars with the Mike Boars channel. Thank you for watching. We are talking Sea-Doo 951 DI direct injection engine. And in the event that you are replacing your direct air injectors and you bought the new part, it is a superseded part number. And when you got the part in the mail or picked it up from the dealership or shop, it looks different and it will not actually fit in the engine in its current configuration. We're going to clarify that and bring you up to speed and more familiar with that superseded part. Let's take a look. All right, DIYers, hey, here we are on the computer, and I want to show you the online schematic or diagram of our fuel system. And as you can see, 2003 Sea-Doo GTX direct injection, and again, the fuel system. And coming down to the schematic or diagram, here's the fuel tank feeding up, here's the fuel filter, the fuel pump, and the entire fuel control module. And right here is the fuel filler neck and cap, all the fuel lines, and the fuel distributor, and right here, there is your air injector, and up top is a different view of this section right here. Here are the fuel injectors, the fuel regulator, air injector, and additional parts. However, again, coming right here, that part right there is your direct air injector. And number 62 through 65, let's scroll all the way down. And here it is, 62, air injector includes 62 through 65. Here is the original part number, 275500545. And again, as I just mentioned, we have a superseded part. It is now 275500633. And there's the price on it, and it's in stock. So with that said, you cannot actually purchase this old part number. However, you can search for it, and what will happen is this brand new part number will likely come up and show the part. And again, it may reference this part number by looking it up that way. However, if you do that and find this number and you see the air injector, that is the new superseded part number. So again, I wanted to show you that from here. Let's head to the workstation. All right, DIYers, at the workstation, you can see the Craftsman workbench on the other side of the jet ski. And this is my mom and dad's 2003 Sea-Doo GTX. We are doing a number of DIY repair videos to it. We'll go inside the hall here shortly. However, let's hop to the other side to the workbench. Making our way around the jet ski. Hey, if you're into skateboarding, definitely check out the links below. We'll show you how to build your own custom logo skateboard and mount it on the wall. However, to our primary workbench, always busy here. And we are referencing again the fuel system that we just saw on the computer. And there's some body parts. However, what's in front of us now are several parts, including our fuel injectors. There are the new ones, the old ones inside the plastic bag, as well as one old air injector and fuel and air regulators. However, those two parts right there on the left-hand side is our OEM original air injector from 2003, and on the right-hand side is the brand new air injector that is officially the superseded new part number for the old one. And as you can see, first glance, they are different. Why are they different? Hopefully that's the reason why you're watching this video and we can get that question answered. However, we are always busy here at the primary workbench. Let's head to the secondary workbench. However, taking a step back, we are now port side of the jet ski. And before we go inside the hall, I grabbed an old air injector and a brand new air injector. Let's go inside the hall. And hopefully this looks familiar. There is your direct fuel injector and distributor. And you've got your spark plugs, as you see, and the holes on the top portion of the engine. And those are the holes or cavities or bores that your air injectors, aka direct air injectors, feed into and are secured into, in between the engine and the bottom portion of your distributor. And hey, real quick, there is a coolant temp sensor back there, so in the event that you are having temperature issues with your jet ski, definitely check out the link scrolling above. We show you how to replace that, as well as the second coolant temp sensor right down there. Replace them together. However, back to the fuel injector and distributor system, I will grab the original air injector. We'll talk about the part once we get to the secondary workbench. However, coming inside here, you will notice, let me raise the actual distributor, and the injector itself can fit right inside that hole and go down into the engine. Let me pull it out. However, grabbing the brand new one, big difference, right? It literally is impossible to fit inside that engine hole or bore, aka cavity, that the old air injector came out of. So why is this the new superseded part number and it doesn't fit? Again, we're going to answer that for you. Here we are at the secondary workbench, aka just a wood table, but hey, it works great when the primary workbench is busy. And like I said, it's always busy. However, in front of us on the left-hand side is again the old original direct air injector from 2003 that we just pulled out of the engine. And on the right-hand side is the superseded and brand new part number direct air injector. And minus this bottom part right here that again I just showed you does not fit inside the engine. The overall part itself is the exact same design as the old one. However, again, minus this portion here, why is it different and why does it not fit inside the engine? You might be thinking that the company that you purchased the new part from sold you the wrong part. However, in our case, if you look directly on the part itself, let me turn it over, there is the new part number, 275500633. And again, it is the exact superseded part number. However, again, it doesn't fit inside the engine. And I'm going to shift this aside and direct our attention to the OEM air injector from 2003. Not much to talk about here. This is just your electrical connection point. And it's got a long shaft to allow for clearance from the electrical connection over the engine and this portion to feed inside the cavity or bore of the top portion of the engine itself. And then this top part just feeds into the bottom portion of your distributor or that long black rail or housing that says direct fuel injection on it. And you've got an O-ring that creates an oil and fuel tight seal. And this bottom part right here is where the bottom part of the fuel injector feeds into and mates with. However, again, to the bottom portion of this air injector, you can see it is extremely corroded and needing to be replaced. You can try cleaning it up, but I recommend just replacing them. And in our case, they're about $250 a piece, but well worth it, trust me. And up here you can see a rubber O-ring, and that is to create, just like this, a oil and fuel tight seal when it's inside the engine. However, I want to focus on this white ring here. This is what's called a carbon dam, and in our case, you can see I can rotate it very easily. And reading our exact serial number service manual, it states when removing your direct air injector from the engine, do it very cautiously and gently, as opposed to aggressively. And that is because of this carbon dam ring here. It is compressed from the factory prior to being installed inside the top portion of your engine. And when you pull this out of the engine, this actual carbon dam ring can expand. And if you pull it out aggressively, you could actually damage the top bore of the engine, and you don't want that. Back then, when these were replaced, well, they would bring the old air injectors out, they would remove this carbon dam ring as well as the O-ring, and they would use special tools to install a brand new O-ring and brand new carbon dam seal. And then they would use a very specific tool to compress this ring prior to it going inside the engine. Because again, this carbon dam expands, and it had to be compressed prior to being pushed and installed inside the engine. So again, that's just how the old style method was performed. And I will set that here. I want to talk about the new method. Again, the part itself, really exactly the same. Electrical connection, long shaft, top portion, different color, but that's okay. O-ring. This is the part that, again, the bottom portion of the fuel injector feeds into. And then you've got this. And you've got this little hole here that kind of makes you think, well, this is supposed to be like this. It looks like this in every single picture that you see online prior to purchasing the brand new part. But again, you get it and it doesn't fit inside your engine. That little hole right there alleviates a solid vacuum seal on this part here. And all this is a aluminum cap to protect the carbon dam ring as it sits inside the box on the shelf or during the shipping while it's making its way to you. So again, without this hole, it would be impossible to pull off what is a cap for shipping. And DIYers, you're not supposed to do this unless you are going to immediately pull the cap, lubricate the O-ring and carbon dam, and then immediately shift this air injector down into the engine. And we are just shy of doing that. However, for your convenience, I am going to show you. There is the O-ring. That is that O-ring right there. And again, that white ring is a carbon dam, and once this cap is pulled off, it will expand, and we don't want that. you only have maybe a minute or two to pull this cap off and install this part that will look exactly like this when I pull the cap inside the engine. And again, I'm going to go very fast. I'm going to pull it off, show you real quick, and I'm going to put this cap back on to alleviate that carbon dam from expanding. And it's tight. Get a good grip of the plastic housing here. Put your fingers in between the cap and just pull it off. As you see, it's moving. And there it is. Check that out. Big difference. See that? Huge difference. And again, the carbon ring will expand, so I'm going to immediately put the cap back on, push it all the way flush, as shown here, to again alleviate that from expanding. And there it is, DIYers. Hopefully that solves your question. Why is the brand new superseded part number not only look like that, but sold like that and arrives to your house like that, and it will not fit in your engine? And to answer that question again, all that is a cap to protect the carbon dam ring, as well as the very tip of the air injector while it is in storage or shipping, ultimately always alleviating any chances of that carbon ring expanding prior to installing it in the engine. So there it is, DIYers. I wanted to show you that. Hopefully this helps. Back to the jet ski port side, and again, DIYers, we hope this helps. Hey, down below is a playlist to our jet ski videos, and we've got a lot of helpful videos. We just installed a brand new protective sleeve for our step, and we show you how to lubricate latches, adjust the studs that the latches secure into, and we replace the starter, battery, oil sensor, and a lot more. We replaced this little spring-loaded latch here for the storage compartment, the start-stop cap, as well as the internal start-stop push button and wire harness that feeds all the way downstream. Again, a lot of helpful videos in that playlist. From here, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Oh, and we also replaced the ignition coils inside our electrical box, as well as the starter relay, and again, a lot more. Definitely check those out. Let us know if you have any questions.